TastyKeish, a very good friend of mine, who runs Bondfire Radio. We have been friends for, what, almost 8 years now? 7, 8 years? Something like that. Yeah, I met you like '09. So. Alright, so guys, I know you guys were excited. Please hold all that excitement back. Jaden, I'm looking at you, because I know you're going to be the first one jumping out your seat. Alright?
I'm ready.
You guys are ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Alright, so let's give her a warm round of applause.
First of all, I heard it was snack time.
Yeah, we need to.
Is that your snack box over there? Can I take a peek? I'm just curious. I always want to know what's going on. I'm just going to take a peek at one of these snacks. What are you guys having for snacks?
Cookies.
Milk, that is delicious. Because I had a dry donut on the way here, and I could have used some of this. But it's too late now. What, cookies?
Yeah.
With the steaks on them?
Yeah.
That's amazing. How many steaks do you guys know?
50.
All of them. All right. Well, that's not a bad snack at all. I was just curious. I'm thankful that you let me look. I might take one of these on my way out. All right. Now it's your turn. Let's party.
My question to you is, what is it like in a radio station?
Oh, what is it like owning a radio station or just being on the radio? Being on the radio is exciting. Every day is different. So TV and radio are similar like that because every day you got to do something fresh. You ever watch the news and like the next day is not the same as the day before it. So we have to come up with new ways to talk to people and to make them smile. And my show today is definitely different than my show on Friday and last Wednesday and last Monday. So it's exciting. It's a lot of work, but I love it. Thank you for the question.
When was your first radio experience?
Oh, my first. I would say I was probably, how old are you guys?
10, 9,
8, 9, and 10. So around 8, 9, 10, 11. I used to listen to the radio a lot when I was you guys' age, and I liked a lot of different songs, but I wanted to be on the radio too. The thing that made me want to be on the radio is because they always let people do shout outs and give presents to people on the air. So I made little tapes. We had cassettes back then. You guys know cassettes?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen one, right? So I used to make tapes and record myself in the middle of the songs, and I would say, "This is Keish, and the next song is." I'm trying to think of a song from back then, but any old time song. But I would just do that and make tapes.
Like do the twist.
Do the twist. Chuck Berry, Do the Twist. Thank you, that's a good song. And then I would introduce them and make tapes and let people listen to them, and then I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. So my first real experience was college.
Isn't like the cassette? Doesn't it go into not a huge, in a small VCR?
It's sort of like a small VCR. It's called a tape deck, and yeah, it just has speakers on it. So you put it in the tape deck, press play, and it plays.
How was it having your own radio station?
It's hard. It's hard, but it's fun because the whole reason I do it is because we don't have a lot of choices. We are not represented well. When I say we, I mean people of color. We are here, all of us are people of color. And it's important that you see something that you recognize, or you hear something that you recognize on TV. You know, if a little girl has long hair, long brown hair, I want to give a shout out to all the girls with the long brown hair. If short curly hair right here, I want to give a shout out to all the little gentlemen with short curly hair. I want to make sure everybody's represented. So I started the radio station because of that, and even though it's kind of hard sometimes, because you have to manage people and pay bills and do your own show and make sure people are listening, I love it. I love doing it.
One more question. Do you have to be a journalist to have your own radio station, or do you have to be a radio station?
No, you can come from a different angle. So I started in journalism, like Mr. Nick started in journalism, but I went into TV radio in college. And even there's people that are part of our radio station that did not go to college. There are people that are audio engineers, people people that deal with music can make you sound good, and some audio engineers make you sound bad, but that's a whole nother story. So you can come from it from a lot of different ways.
My name is Kylie, and my question for you is, what are the pros and cons of your job?
Well, pros is what I was talking about before, is getting to do some stuff that represents everybody. Doing it my way. Anytime you do something, anytime you own something, anytime you are, the boss of something, you can do it your own way. Obviously, you have to work within, with other people. So you make sure that everybody's cooperating, everybody's doing what they need to do. But the cons would be that you're the boss, and it takes a lot of work to manage a lot of people, and sometimes you really want to do your own thing so bad, and like everybody doesn't agree with you, and you have to find a way to compromise. That's not a con, but it's sometimes you really feel strongly about what you want, and you might have to let that go. And it's okay. You might come back to it.
What is your journalist experience?
My journalist experience, I was a high school editor-in-chief of my newspaper/magazine for a while, and that was fun. Then I did it in college. I wrote in college, and I went on to find the radio station in college, and that's when I changed over from writing to radio.
My name is Janelle, and my question is, how long have you been working on the radio?
Officially, I'll count college. And I actually did some teaching with some at a camp, and we did radio there. So maybe 10 years now? Yeah, jumping out of his seat just now.
So what I wanted to also ask you was, when you started the radio station, right? How did you pick people?
Ooh, that's
how did you know to pick people? Because I understand that you got a radio station, but it's people out there that be acting so good, but they're actually evil.
Ooh, truth right here. Yes. Okay. Wow. Well, sometimes you don't know who you're picking. Sometimes you make a mistake and you pick the wrong person. But that's part of the pros and the cons of stuff.
But that's what makes me special, because when I pick my friends, it's never going to be a friend that's so mean to other people, and not like people that's disrespectful with the teachers. I want a person that knows the truth, but they might not like the same thing as me. But what's that matters is that they do it right. Not me.
Exactly. So I pick my radio broadcasters the same way. All it matters to me is that your listeners are happy, that you're giving them good radio, that you pick really good guests, that you speak well, that you can send the message to the most amount of people in the short amount of time, in the most different ways.
How did you feel when you first started your station?
I felt happy. It came after a really long time of working under other people and looking at different ways that they were doing things, and I learned from them. Anytime you do something, you gotta learn from that situation. You learn, you say, well, I'm not gonna do it like they did, or maybe I'll take that with me, and with all that knowledge, all the stuff that I learned, I was able to start with a understanding that I could do this, and I'm gonna do these shows. So it felt good. It felt really good. And we just passed 350 episodes on my page.
Hi, my name is Brendan. Why did you choose to go to the studio?
Why did I choose to go to the studio? Can you clarify that?
Why did you choose to go to the radio station?
Just because I wanted to do something all my own. So I picked it, and everybody believed in me, so I didn't want to let them down. And I want to make the best choices that I can for myself and my friends and all the people listening.
How big is this setup for a radio?
There's a lot of different ways you can set it up. Our setup, it's a room very similar to this, about, you know, you guys are in a bigger room than me, but similar to this, I have 2 desks. One for the engineer, who's the person doing all the boards, you know, making sure everybody's microphone is on. One for the host, the co-host, and the guests. We usually have 2 or 3 guests, co-hosts, so we have about 3 or 4 microphones. On this side in my studio, we have a DJ turntables, DJ consoles, and they're plugged into the mixing board where I engineer. And that's all you need. Anything else is extra. Any other space is extra.
Was it fun working with all the people and the podcast and all the guests and stuff?
Oh, it's very fun. It's very fun because sometimes you find out stuff that you never would know in a regular conversation because they know that they're there to talk to you and tell you extra special stuff. So if you ask them, they'll tell you. They'll tell you extra special stuff, and I love finding that stuff out.
Who influenced or inspired you to do what you do today and be the person you are today?
Oh, okay. Well, family-wise, my grandma. She influenced me because she just let me kind of figure things out, and she always supported me, even though she didn't even speak English. She listened to me on the radio, and she just said, "Good job," you know. And it's always nice when someone is supporting you so hard that they might not even understand what you're saying, but they're there, you know. It's a beautiful thing to know. So she's always in my heart like that. And radio people, I would say, if you ever get a chance, if you guys have computer time, Petey Green, he's from Washington, D.C. He's a prolific black radio personality. One name you might know, Angie Martinez. I grew up with Angie, not with her, but listening to her, hearing her interviews and her style. There's a lot of people, but those are the radio people right now.
How many viewers do you have?
Well, we're an audio thing, so we have listeners, and when we do go to video, we will have video. But right now, we have people from all over the globe. We have listeners in Japan, Australia, London, the West Coast, New York, because we're from New York, Texas. I don't know the numbers exactly, but I would still say we're in the hundreds right now. Yeah, maybe they're not famous, but they're famous to me. We have filmmakers come through, sometimes people in the community that do activism and politics, singers. We have singers that come through. You name it, we probably have that kind of person. So it's really exciting for us. And we're just gonna get more. Yeah.
The first time that you went on the radio, were you ever scared so people could hear your voice?
Yes. Scared, and even sometimes now I get nervous because sometimes I'm so excited. You know, I'm so excited that the news story, maybe I didn't read it right, or maybe, you know, so that's why you gotta be prepared. So you read the story first and then you go on the air. But yeah, I'm nervous sometimes.
Well, don't you think that, well, I know it wasn't a part of my question, but don't you think when you say your name on the radio, that's not right?
What do you mean?
You never know people, will hunt you down and track you down. What do you
Oh, right. They look for you and stuff. Well, now that we have the internet, anybody can find anybody. So I don't really worry about that. And also, when you're on the internet, just like regular, right? And I'm on the internet, there's certain things that you do to make sure that you have a little bit of secrecy. You know, I don't say my address. I don't tell, you know, things about myself that you could just come up to me and be like, you know, I heard that you are going to the party tomorrow. You know, I don't say stuff like that. And that's also just stuff that you should be careful of when you're online too. Don't just say everything about yourself. And that's also why we have different names. My name is Keisha, but on the air my name is TastyKeish. And some people's name don't even have anything to do with, you know.
When I first started my station, because now I have my station on YouTube, I record stuff and put it on YouTube. one time when I started my radio recording on my mother's phone, and now I have my own phone, when I started, when I was like 5 years old, I accidentally used my phone number, but my parents said don't use your phone number, but people could track you down.
Yes.
But since when you were talking about when Jeremiah said, right, I wanted to say something too. When you on the radio station and you get 0 likes, right?
Yeah.
You have to be confident in yourself and stuff that like you can't just say stuff like tell how the weather is today and stuff, like tell about like video games, stuff,
Yeah.
like express your stuff, but don't express about you. Express about like how the world is doing it today.
Exactly. You have to have, before you go on air, TV, radio, you have to be prepared. Just like you guys were prepared for me with your questions, read about the topic, find out about the guests, learn how to say their name the right way. Anything that you're going to talk about, do a little research first.
How did you feel when you first started your station?
Felt happy. I felt happy. It came after a really long time of working under other people and looking at different ways that they were doing things, and I learned from them. Anytime you do something, you got to learn from that situation. You learn. You say, well, I'm not gonna do it like they did, or maybe I'll take that with me, and with all that knowledge, all the stuff that I learned, I was able to start with a understanding that like I can do this. And I'm gonna do these shows, so it felt good. It felt really good. And we just had a really good episode on my I think so, and sometimes it's not about if they like it, it's about if we can talk about it. Like, you know, if we can have a conversation. I might not like what you're gonna tell me, but me and you could have a conversation about it. And I think they come back not just for liking it, but they like to have the conversation. They might not like the topic, they might have their own opinions versus mine, but we're talking about it. And I think that that's what they like, that we can always have a conversation.
Even though you have the viewers like in Japan and Chicago, if they speak a different language, do you change the language to their language?
There's no way that I can do that, but a lot of times they might use like Google Translate to help them. But most of the time they could follow along enough, and we also have a chat room, so people are talking in there while we're on the air, and those people help each other understand.
My question is, how did you met Mr. Nick?
We met at a show, and somebody told me about him, and I thought that, I was like, I didn't know him at all, but I was like, he seems really smart. And sometimes you kind of know, when you're going to get along with somebody or that they're going to do really good work at the job that you have in mind for them. So I just kept in touch with him and we stayed friends and we worked together for a long time.
Why did you pick Mr. Nick?
Why did I pick Mr. Nick? Oh, why did we pick each other? I was looking for new people to come host the radio show with me. We did a show called Rise Up Radio together for a very long time. And I was doing it and people started to leave because, when you get growing up, you want to do different things with your life. But I stayed and I was looking for people that were dedicated, that did the work, that wanted to be on the air and creating new content all the time. So I selected him because he was one of the best candidates.
Keisha, without Mr. Nick, is your show still good?
Well, we don't have that show anymore. We did it for a while, and it was time for us to do different things. So I have a different program right now. I do the radio station, and on there, I have a morning show, and I think it's really good. He can come as a guest anytime because I'm here as a guest of his, so it's good either way.
Michael.
Did you meet any famous people?
I haven't met famous people yet. Sometimes, because I used to also do interviewing for like blogs and video channels. Oh, I met Bob Marley's family. That was fun. So yeah, stuff like that when I go on assignment for other people.
Have you ever had any family on your radio?
I had my mom on the show a couple times in the beginning. We did a advice segment. So I gave advice and she gave advice, and sometimes moms give funny advice and sometimes daughters like me give funny advice. So that was fun for a little while.
And your brother too.
And my brother. Oh my gosh, I forgot because he's a star. And my brother, he's amazing.
What do you do when you're not on the radio?
I have other work that I do. I come and talk to you guys or anybody that invites me, but I have my job and I also have my family. I travel. I actually like to experience the world so that I can bring it back to the people that I'm talking to on the air. Stuff like that.
Let's get...
Do I eat healthy? I eat healthy in moderation with, unhealthy food. So I do a little bit of everything. I don't eat junk all the time, but I also don't eat vegetables all the time. So you got it right in the middle.
Wait, so
Yeah.
I feel like that meat is good because that means you would eat a little bit of junk. Yeah. The reason why you eat a little bit of junk is that's not fair. Of course, you're supposed to eat healthy, but you have to take the break and healthy. Because what I heard is you can't eat a lot of vegetables. A lot.
Yeah. I mean, you can. Exactly. You get a stomachache either way. So you gotta balance your food. And even if you're a vegetarian, some people really do only do vegetables. They balance it in other ways. I am an everything-tarian, so I eat everything and anything, but in moderation, for sure.
Does your show come on the weekends?
It's on the weekdays, but people listen to it as a podcast later on. Sometimes they put it on their phones or they just find it online. So anytime, but it usually comes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's got some grown-up stuff, so ask your mom and dad.
My question is, what days and times does the radio station come on?
Well, the radio station is 24 hours a day, so we have different shows. My show is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You guys are in school when it's on, but there's other people's shows. There's mixed shows, which are just music, where people just play their favorite types of music. You can go on our website and find out, bonfireradio.com, and check out some of the shows.
All right, so my last question for you, Keish, is what advice would you give to a young person who is interested in joining the radio or journalism or becoming a reporter, which some of them are in this room right now?